Good evening, singers, vocal enthusiasts. We are live on the trail. It's cold. It's cold. I don't know if you can see my breath, but I can. My fingers are freezing. So I've got hot drink, and we're heading up the trail. How you doing? How are you doing so far? Can you believe January is already more than half over? That is wild. Time is going so fast. So I'm giving you a chance to tune in, get notified that we're going live. My ears are going to turn red because it's this cold. Yeah, I didn't check the temperature until I got here. And guess what? It is 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Brrr. That's like, I don't know, -3 Celsius. It's cold. But you know what? We're doing it anyway. Going up the trail, we got to be consistent. So the word for the year is consistency. Consistency in everything you do. Consistency in your singing practice. So I'm doing this specifically for my uncle. Today, my uncle is 81 years old, and he's a singer, and he's loved singing his entire life. He didn't go into singing as a career, but he is still a singer. And we sing together, and I coach him from time to time, and I'm super proud of him. So he asked me, "Hey, Philippe, are you doing any more of those walks of wisdom?" And I love that, and that inspired me. So yes, we are doing walks of wisdom. This means you can ask me any questions that are on your mind regarding singing, and we'll talk about it. Okay? Now, if you're just tuning in to kind of observe, well, we've got this is the bottom of the trail, not spectacular, right? But I'm telling you, there's some ice. There's some ice around, which is not normal for where we live. Okay, let's talk about singing. What is singing anyway? Singing is a vibration. That's right. Singing is a vibration. You get your vocal folds to vibrate. They create energized air molecules that dance and rush up through your vocal tract, and they get amplified within the vocal tract. And then the tongue shapes, pop, out comes a sound. Here's a very important concept. I think it will change the way you think about singing. You create a sound and it vibrates you back. Why is this important? Because what you feel when you're singing is not what you're doing. It's the feedback of what you're doing. It's the result. That happens so fast. You begin to sing, and immediately it vibrates you back. This is why you can feel sound. You can feel your resonance. You can feel it sometimes in your throat, in your mask, up around the eyes, your head, in your sometimes even around the nose and the lips, in your chest. So the vibration of your sound is the result of what you're doing. It's very important. It's very important for your mind. You see, when you get that feedback, then, I'm just scrolling up here. Yeah. Then you feel what you're doing. Okay? It's like you see with your eyes what you're doing, but you don't hear your hand moving. So, get that? You can see what you're doing with your hands, but you don't necessarily feel them being vibrated back by the action. But in singing, you don't see what's going on. You feel the result. So singing is very important that the mind and the body sync up. And this is really cool because When you learn to create the right vibration and you learn what that feels like, your body can, specifically your mind, can work on recreating that sensation for you. And that is a big deal, because what else are you going to follow in your singing other than your ears and your feeling? And how do you hear? Well, your eardrums translate vibrations. So this is very important, and it should give you a lot of security when you realize that what you feel during singing is the result of what you're doing. You adjust what you're doing, and you get a different feeling, a different sensation, and this is how you can feel your sound moving through your vocal tract and moving through your body. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, my hand is literally frozen. I take the hot drink, place it in the other hand, and warm up these frozen fingers. Ah. Any questions about that? So think about it. You don't sing out your head, but you can feel sometimes vibrations in your head when you're singing. You don't sing out your nose, out your eyes, out of your cheekbones, but you can feel vibrations up there. So they're the result of what you do. What you do is translated into feedback. You feel your voice. And this is really important. Good exercise. Sing, practice, and then cover your ears or plug your ears and sing again. It's hard. Can you create the same feeling? Can you create the same vibration? If you can, you're awesome. Because then you'll be recreating the same sound. All right. Yes, I am on a trail here in southern Utah, and it is a cold, cold morning. My fingers are freezing holding the phone. Okay, now let's talk about being consistent in your singing. When you feel a sense of ease during singing, and you feel the sound vibrating you, and you like what you hear, record yourself. Record yourself, and then play it back. You got to check in to see if what you are hearing on the inside of your head matches what people are hearing on the outside. There's a difference. Ah, sunshine. Woo! That feels much better. So, again, we don't hear inside of our own head our own sound the way other people hear us. This is why when you're talking on the phone, you listen to yourself on a recording. In the beginning, it's kind of like, do I really sound like that? Singing, you've got to learn to match what you hear on the outside to what is being heard. Sorry, what you hear on the inside of your own head to what is being heard on the outside. So here it is. Did you know that only 1% of the sound you create is being sent outward? Only 1% of the sound you create is actually traveling outward. 99% stays inside of the vocal tract and inside of your head. That means what you hear in your head is loud, comparatively. And it means it's different, slightly different. So you got to match the perception, your perception of what you sound like to yourself inside of your head to what people are hearing, all right? The only way to do that is to record yourself. So you're going to record yourself, and then you're going to listen back, and then you're going to decide, do I sound like that in my own head? Why is this important? Because, again, you can only sing truly by feeling the sound vibration and hearing it. Hearing it is the same thing as feeling it. And when you know that what you feel on the inside matches what's on the outside, now you have control over your sound. Sometimes you're going to think you sound glorious on the inside of your head, and then you listen to the recording and you're like, that doesn't sound like what I felt. You've got to get those to match up. So listen to what you sound like on the outside by recording yourself, and then get that synced in your own mind so there's no surprises. This is how you fine-tune what you're doing to reality, matching it up. Okay, any questions about you guys might have? Here's another word of wisdom. What is the difference between chest voice, mix, and head voice or falsetto? I know some people still make a difference between falsetto and head voice. I'm not really. I'll just call them different sound designs, different colors of the same thing. So, what is the difference? Well, the vocal folds do something different, but how do they do it? That's really interesting. Is it air pressure? Could it be air pressure? Could it be different muscular tension? Could it be a difference in adduction? Adduction, the vocal folds closing, compression, how much they press into each other. Okay, there's some interesting questions there. What is the difference? Well, the difference and what you want to learn to do is close the gap. If I go, yeah, that's a very quick change. And then the voice will flip. Very quick change in what? Air pressure, yes. Quick change in air pressure, okay. Quick change in air pressure makes the vocal folds shift gears. Okay, what else does it do? It disrupts their vibratory pattern. Why? Because if you're going, then you have stronger adduction and in your vocal folds, and they resist the pressure, the slightly higher pressure. And if I let go of the adduction, the sound goes away immediately. We do it the other way. Another big surge in pressure makes the voice flip again. So it's a combination of adduction, compression, and air pressure. This should tell you that those are the most important things to balance in your singing. You control dynamics by making slow changes. Okay, where are we gonna go today? That way's the up, that way's the longer route, and I think I'm gonna go for a longer walk today because I've got a little bit of time. I'm gonna let you think about any questions you may have. So if we want to control our voice, if we want to be able to mix, what is mix voice actually? Is it M1, M2? Is it meaning M1 is our general term for a chest voice, or a M1 modular vibratory pattern in the vocal folds? Very technical, but let's just call it chest voice to keep it easily understandable for everybody. And M2 would be your head voice. So what is mix anyway? Well, mix is getting really close in M1 to M2. And depending on your resonance, sometimes you get into that M2. I gotta switch hands again because that one hand is frozen. Why is this important? Well, it's gonna be really important if you wanna have any dynamics in your singing. And some people like the sound, that lighter sound of what they're calling mix. So in order to train it, you have to be able to do both. You've got to have a really good falsetto or head voice, And you've got to be able to control that and slowly increase the adduction of your vocal folds, compression, balancing with the air pressure to get the vocal folds to start changing what they're doing. Then you get a mixed voice sound. It sounds complicated. Well, it is a complicated process if you break it all down. Other way around, if you want to go from a solid chest voice sound, ah, and seamlessly blend into head voice, you have to control those two factors we just talked about. You've got to control your air pressure and your adduction. And those are things that are reactionary. If you put more pressure into your vocal tract, your vocal folds are going to react and they're going to adduct harder to resist that, to create sound. If you take out the pressure, they're going to release. Now, non-singers, the voice just goes, ah, it just cracks and flips real quick because why? They've never trained a smooth transition. So you as a singer have got to train a smooth transition. That's coordination. Coordination is something you train, it's something you can acquire. And it's not something you acquire overnight. It's something you acquire over lots and lots and lots of little steps, day after day after day, for weeks, months, and even years. Okay? So it just gets better and better. Okay. So what kind of exercises are excellent for controlling your air pressure, your air flow, and synchronizing that with your vocal folds? Do you guys have any ideas? Well, I've got some really good ideas, of course, but most of them I didn't come up with. I came up with the how to do it better, okay? And that's what I work with. So the best exercises for controlling your air pressure and your vocal fold coordination are SOVT. Yes, semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. What does that mean? Well, they help you maintain the air pressure balance inside of your vocal tract to help you better coordinate your vocal folds. And they're excellent for training transitions and balance, because you must balance your air pressure and your vocal folds, adduction, and they go hand in hand. You can't train your vocal folds at all levels without any air. So, yes, let's name some SOVTs. You guys go ahead, put in the chat, or think of the SOVTs you know. SOVT exercise. If you've never heard of it, it stands for semi-occluded vocal tract. It means you're going to slightly block the escape of the air or occlude it partially, and that's going to create back pressure, supraglottic pressure, stable pressure within your vocal tract, which allows your vocal folds to move easier and adduct easier. Okay, there's the explanation. So what are they? Well, I'm sure you guys have heard of. That's an SOVT exercise. The lip bubbles or lip trill. Let's name some more. Come on, you guys are there. You can write it in the chat. I have my hands full. Hot drink in one hand, keeping my hands from freezing, and the phone in the other. All right, another one. They're called voiced fricative consonants. Consonants like z, z, v, zh, like treasure. Those are great consonants that work very well. You've got the messy strawberry, which some people love. You've got the puffy cheeks. That's also a semi-occluded vocal tract technique. You can also do the same thing with one finger. Ooh, kind of a whistly tone. Ooh, ooh. You're letting out more air, getting a softer, more breathy tone. And you can put your finger in front of that and regulate the resistance with your finger. Now you have the SOVT straws, singing straws. They are very extreme form, and they're going to reduce your airflow significantly, meaning you can't overblow your vocal folds. There's a paper cup, poke a hole in the end of the paper cup, lock it, press it around your mouth, and then vocals through there. So all of these things are really, all of these exercises are really good to train you to learn to control your vocal folds and balance them with air pressure. Air pressure is a good thing in singing. Too much is a bad thing. Nothing at all, no sound. So you've got to train the different intensity levels so you can go from a to back and forth seamlessly. And so there's a lot of different vocalises, meaning different melodies, scales you can do on an SOVT. You can also practice just going from air to sound and seeing how soft and smooth you can get that. That is the fine tuning, but you do have to practice resisting the air pressure more. All right, here we go. Going up here. Woo! It's going to get steeper. So to increase your vocal fold control, your air pressure balance, which is absolutely necessary to go from a chest voice through the transition, the mix area, into your head voice or falsetto and back. They are some of the best exercises. In fact, I think they are the best exercises. If you don't have the control it takes to do SOVT exercises well, you won't have the coordination to do any other exercises well. So spend some time with your SOVTs every day. Spend some time with a voice activation video on my channel. And I use some of those in that activation. All right, guys, it's getting so cold, I have to put down the phone and warm up my fingers for a while. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk of wisdom, words of wisdom, and hope you will enjoy this beautiful scenery and join me again sometime soon. Remember to see all that. It's cold. I'm not exaggerating. Remember to follow, because we have an excellent online training coming up. The Big 5 Coordinations of Singing, Part 3. We're going to be working with the tongue and vowels. I'll do another post about this because it's so important. Be coming up beginning of February. All right, you guys have a great day. Reach out. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.